Good morning, everyone. It's very cold here today, but listen. All the birds. I love it. All right. Today is day 4 of our challenge group, and I have a challenge for you. And this might be difficult for people, or cliche, or hokey, or cringy, whatever you want to call it. But I really want you to do it because body confidence, I know that's like I have hives right now, so don't mind me. It's cliche, but it's something that's so important in your journey to just be okay with where you are right now. The desire for improvement, the desire for health, awesome. But finding a balance in loving yourself right now, that's my biggest regret of the earlier parts of my journey. I was so focused on the awful parts of me, the awful parts that I thought were awful parts. And I missed out on the amazing human that I was and the beautiful person I was inside and outside. And, I missed out on photos. I missed out on just moments. And, we put a lot of barriers in our way. We talked about barriers on Tuesday. And your journey and your life in general will be so much more successful if you start to be kinder to yourself at the beginning. If you start to set that as a goal. I need another blanket. It is cold. Give me a second here. I gotta wrap myself. Oh, there goes my hair. Wrap myself in these blankets. It's really cold outside. As long as it doesn't snow. Okay, there we go. Okay, now I'm cozy. All right. Saying kind things to yourself. So I'll get this started right away just in case you don't make it through the whole live and you're like, well, what's the homework? The homework is I want you to stand in front of your mirror if you have a mirror or full length mirror. If you don't have one, go buy one. And that can be a huge struggle for people because they don't want to see what they look like. But this is you. This is you right now. This is the best version of you right now. And you're never going to get another moment like this, another time like this, another youth like this, whether you're 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. I'm 42 today because it's my birthday. And I want you to stand in front of the mirror. If you're comfortable, do it in your birthday suit. Do it in your underwear. However you do it. I want you to look in the mirror and I want you to say 10 kind things to yourself about your body, about your physical appearance. And I know how hard this is going to be for some people. I know how challenging it's going to be. I know how repulsive you might feel about yourself, but nobody else is looking at you that way. Nobody else is as cruel to you as you are to yourself. So when you're looking in the mirror, and I remember so vividly, like it was yesterday, doing this at the beginning of my journey. And sometimes there were tears. Sometimes there was just that feeling of like I could name 1,000 things that are negative before I can say one nice thing about myself. And that mentality highlights the work you need to do. And I want to say like 90% of weight loss, of the weight loss journey. I know they all say food and exercise, and it is, but 90% of that journey is mental. It's up here and it's in your heart and it's how you feel about yourself. Because once you start to recognize the amazing person you are, you're going to find different ways to treat yourself. Because you look at it this way, right? I don't like to use the word hate. So let's pick someone or something you dislike and then someone you like. How do you treat those two different people? So if you're looking at yourself in the mirror, is this a person you like or is this a person you dislike? The thing is, you're stuck with this person no matter what. So you've got to change the narrative of how you feel about this person, because you're in control. We're not in control of other people, but we are in control of ourselves. And believe it or not, you're in control of that inner dialogue of how you feel about yourself. And I go down these negative narratives even now, you know, story monsters, the what ifs. I could look in the mirror and still pick myself apart, but I don't. And Kim Fitzpatrick, a really great and amazing mentor and friend of mine, years ago, she did a video similar to this one. And she was like, we don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. And I don't. But it took a long time to break the habit of negative self-talk and self-doubt and that low self-confidence. Once you start to break through the walls that you have built around yourself and you start to let yourself be kind to you, so many things are going to happen. So many amazing, incredible changes are going to happen. But you're the one who's in control. You're the one who has to do all this hard work. You're the one who has to schedule time every day to hit your 10,000 steps, whatever your goal is, 5,000 steps, wherever you are. You have to do all that hard work, but you're very strong. And you need to tell yourself how strong you are. And I remember standing in front of the mirror and trying to flex my muscles. And I'm like, you know what? I bet I'm a muscular person underneath all these excess layers. And I couldn't see past the excess layers. You can't see your internal strength, but you can feel it if you pay attention. There's a voice inside of you that wants to be your friend. It's you. And I know this sounds so cliche and cringy, but this is so fundamental in the journey. I've never been able to solely focus on fitness and nutrition in any of my challenge groups, in any of my talks, because I know better. I know better. I know the difference between the old me and the way that I used to treat myself, the bully, and the new me of like being kinder to myself and the impact that had on my life. Now, I am still tremendously hard on myself. I internalize things so quickly, and I'm an overthinker, and I'm a carer. I really, really care about other people, like to my very core. Even people that aren't kind to me, I still care about them. I don't want to hear things that have happened or bad things or see anyone, you know, hurting. But I don't give myself that same love and care. I'm constantly like, oh, I could do better. It's those negative self-doubts that attack you. And I think a lot of people who are carers, that care about other people, struggle to care about themselves. And we get the same gratification from caring and helping others as some people feel about caring about themselves. Yet carers feel guilty about that, internal care, that self-care, that self-love. And they feel like it's an impossibility. But if you looked at yourself as like, we can't really do this because we are one person, but if you looked at yourself as another person, is there anyone in your entire life that you would treat the way you treat yourself? Probably not. And that is a really impactful thought if you think about it, if you really let that sink in. I would never in a million years, even if you paid me, treat someone the way I treated myself, and sometimes still the way I treat myself. It is probably one of my worst faults is how I treat myself. And it's shameful because I'm hurting myself. So to stand in front of the mirror and say 10 kind things at a time, let's go back 10 years ago, at a time where I hated myself, questioned every decision I made, appearance, thought, feelings. I questioned everything. And I had a lot of growth to do. but I did the work. I did the self-care work, but it wasn't alone. It was people saying things, kind things, surrounding myself with people who cared about me and how I felt and could see me and see my journey and see how hard I was working. And honestly, it was a community like Rosology, like the one I run. It was one of those communities where I found these people who were kind to me. And COVID has been on my mind, all the lockdowns and stuff like that, because I was completely isolated from the world, yet I still had these contacts, these communities that I was participating in that could slowly help me crack and break down the walls I had around myself. And, you know, it's my birthday today, and I love to reflect as long as I keep my thoughts positive. And I've had an amazing year. It's been an incredibly amazing year. I may not physically look any different, but my journey has changed. My goals have changed. I feel different. I'm able to handle things that I couldn't handle before. And I still struggle with anxiety. I still struggle with self-limiting beliefs and all of those things, but I'm so, so, so much stronger, and I like me. And I think that's the biggest change, is that I went from being a bully to myself and name calling towards myself and just hatred, just really mean thoughts towards myself. And now I have more positive thoughts about myself than I have negative thoughts. And that's tremendous growth. And it takes really hard work. As much as you put work into your physical change and your transformation, 100 pounds, I can post a photo of the before me and the after me. Massive difference. You can see it. But if I posted a photo of like my mental health change, there's no way to take a picture of that. So it's a story. It's something you have to share, because it's the most important part of my journey, is how I've grown to be kinder to myself and to love myself. So your challenge today is really built into being open to changing how you talk to yourself, acknowledging that you have been a bully. If you're one of those people, I have been a bully. I bullied myself. I treated myself in a way that I would never treat anyone else, any other human on this planet. I attacked myself. And then I learned how to stop. I learned how to be kind. I learned how not to hurt. You know how they say hurt people hurt? Well, I started to take that narrative, and instead of hurting myself by being unkind and critical, I changed it. And it took a really, really long time. I just wish I would have done it sooner. So that's why it's so important for me to talk about this at the beginning of our challenge, at the beginning of the month, and really plant that seed in your mind. Just being kind. Just be kind to yourself. When I think of my kids and how I want them to be when they grow up, I just want them to be kind to themselves, to humanity, to society. Just be kind. Not perfect. Not perfect. You don't have to be that cheerleader for yourself every single day, but just try harder not to be your own worst enemy and not to be your own bully. It's a big ask, especially for some of us that really struggle with this. So your homework, to reiterate, if you don't have a mirror, go get one. Full length is the big challenge. And say kind things to yourself. And whether you're comfortable saying it here or saying it in the private group Rosology, post about it. What did you say? Was it hard? Was it easy? Share your thoughts, because you're sharing those moments with other people are going to inspire others to do it. And it's a ripple effect. 100%, I guarantee you this. The more that you share the realities of this journey, not just the before and after photo of like, look how much work I did, I feel so fantastic. Share the story. Share the hard. Share the truth. Because when you read advertisements or magazine articles, or you're lined up at the grocery store, or you're scrolling through, there's very little reality out there for women to say, I'm there, or I've been there, or hey, there's someone else like me. We want to share the truth. And your truth will have huge impact. And feedback from that, someone saying like, hey, I'm going through the same thing, thank you for sharing, impactful, very impactful. We as women, we have a really strong power in our communication and in our community, and about being honest. Be honest with yourself. Look in that mirror and be honest with yourself. Not a bully. Be honest with yourself. 10 nice things. Say 10 nice things about yourself. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. I am going to spend my birthday with my family and just enjoy the moments and enjoy where I am right now. Mwah. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day.